2, 1.
You're listening to The Voice, 17104.com.
Been 2 weeks, y'all. Been 2 weeks, y'all. I was down in North Carolina, y'all. I was marrying my nephew, y'all. Been 2 weeks, y'all. Got a new job, y'all. I'm back, y'all. I'm back, y'all. It's the show, it's the show, it's the show, y'all. Come on now, it's Kenny's Corner, y'all. Let's go. Hit it. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Harrisburg, welcome to Kenny's Corner. Like I always say, I can't control what happens on the corner of D.C., Baltimore, New York, or Chicago, but I can always control what happens right here on Kenny's Corner. Ha ha! I want y'all to check out my gear. And you know I got my Run DMC hat on, feather on the side. You know, I don't know who all knows about Run DMC. Growing up, they were my favorite rap group, Run DMC. They had a song called My Adidas. And the words were so nice. This is My Adidas. Walked on concert floors. And we walked all over Coliseum doors. We stepped on stage at Live Aid. All the people gave, and the poor got paid. He says, but out these speakers, I do speak. I wear my sneakers, but I'm not a sneak. Oh my God. I got my Pittsburgh Steelers on. The whole talk this whole week was the Eagles and Dallas. The Eagles and Dallas. It's all I got to hear it. And then you would hear little snippets about the sorry Pittsburgh Steelers beating up on Tampa Bay. But we won. And that's all right with me. That's all right with me. Well, it's been 2 weeks. And, some of my followers have probably found some other things to do. But they're going to come on. They're going to come on. Trust me. Because they my folks. But my question is, what y'all going to do? What y'all got planned on for the holidays? It's coming up. This is a period of depression. Coming into this month of November, it's a lot of depression. November, December is those are the highest 2 months of depression. Mainly because we have lost loved ones by now. Don't have enough money to get. Not that I believe in, the pagan part of Christmas, but don't have enough to get somebody, a gift, a token of your appreciation. So I get it. I understand. But it still is a fact that is the highest activity of depression. So watch out for your friends. See how they're doing. They're going to need you. I'm going to need y'all. It's not always easy. I know I make it look easy. I know I make it look easy, but it ain't easy. We don't really have anybody on. We had a guest. And we're going to talk about domestic violence because this is Domestic Violence Week, or I'm sorry, month. And it's funny because it's also Cancer Awareness Month this month. Both is detrimental to the health. Both has ripped our country apart, this nation, domestic violence, cancer. Shout out to all the cancer survivors. We love and adore you, pray for you. I just lost my cousin down in Chester, South Carolina. Shout out to the Johnson family. Your big cuz loves you up here of cancer. But there's some things we're going to talk about today. Boundaries part 2. So I think we touched on it a little bit before. Boundaries. But now we're going to talk about boundaries part 2. And the thing about boundaries is they're easy to set, but they are hard to keep. I think we all have a boundary and a design for our life, or for how we want our relationship to run, or how we want things to go. But someone's always going to push the limit. And depending who it is, we allow them to push the limit. And that's the sad part. We have to quit allowing people to step over our boundaries. There are times when we don't even respect our own boundaries. You know, I don't really know how to convey how important it is to stick to your guns. Because people will have you get out of your comfort zone. And I'm not saying getting out of your comfort zone is always a bad thing, but you know what's safe for you. You know what's safe for you. And Satan knows what he wants you to do. You know, like I said, I'm a comedian, minister, do it all, public speaker, MC, work at the mission, counselor. I do a lot. I wear a lot of hats. But boundaries, you even need them in church. You need boundaries in church. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Pastors cross boundaries all the time. And not even in a bad way, such as, you know, I know everybody's so hard on the pastor saying, well, he did this or sexual, or not only that, but it crossed boundaries on your time. You know, the pastor don't want you to call them at 11 o'clock at night, but they will call you at 12. They will call you at 12 for you to get their agenda through. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And so, what are the benefits of setting boundaries? What are the negatives? of setting boundaries? What are the positives of not setting boundaries? What is the positive of setting boundaries? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know. I'm just waiting on some people to get online. And it seems like people are really cold because it's cold outside. Because if I wasn't here, I'd be nestled up under that king size bed. I'd be under that king size bed, man, relaxing. That's where I'd be. So I understand. You tag some folks. You gotta keep tagging folks. You gotta keep telling them, come on, I'm here. And this is partly my fault. I wanted to get my announcements out there earlier, but something happened with the programming. I couldn't, not the programming of the station, but my programming. And so I didn't have nothing to put out. But I'm here now. Teresa Reynolds wants to join you on video. No, she don't. I can tell you that right now. She hit the wrong button. She hit the wrong button. We got Precious on. Miss Griffin. How you doing, girl? What's up, nephew? We're talking about boundaries and how important it is to set boundaries. What are the benefits of the boundary? But my question is, when we do set the boundary, hey, little cuz, when we do set boundaries, why is it so easy to let people cross them? Parker says extremely important. Why is it that some people can walk right through your boundaries? Because boundaries is something that we need. We need it on our job. We need it in our relationships. And I'm not even talking about with a wife right now. I'm talking about with your friends, your cousins. But you do need it in your girlfriends and your wife. You need boundaries. One of the things, what happens when people get married is that everything automatically seems like it's ours. But there are still things that are just mine. My top drawer is still my top drawer. You can have every drawer in the house, but the top drawer is where I keep my razors, my this, my that, my little knickknacks. That's mine. But people think, we're married, I can rearrange that. No. As much as we're married, I still need to be who I am. You married me because of who I am. Boundaries. Sometimes people take the boundary and almost turn it into a controlling mechanism. Now they can control you. But we can't be controlled. Trying to control somebody is just ridiculous. It's not even good for a relationship. What we really wanted to talk about this week was domestic violence, because domestic violence is it runs rampant in our community. It really runs rampant. And the sad part about it is when it's the man being abused, that never gets reported. That never gets reported, the man being abused, because the man feels less than if he has to call the police on his woman. He's going to be looked at like something's wrong with him. But domestic violence is a real thing. We have lost a lot of people. I lost my cousin behind domestic violence. That's funny because domestic violence and Cancer Awareness is the same month. And I've lost family members to both. So it's a real serious thing. Shout out to the people that went through domestic violence and came out on the other side. I think some people disregard your boundaries. Sometimes people are not transparent on their boundaries and assume that the significant other is cognizant of it. You're right. You know what? Boundaries is no more than excellent communication. You have to communicate that in a way that they understand that we don't go here or we don't go there. One of the boundaries, I had a friend that said, if I share something with you, now how many of y'all can feel this? If I share something with you in confidence about me and my private life, don't bring it up when we are having an argument, because that's dirty pool. That's dirty pool. And when people are caught and they are wrong and somebody's telling them about themselves, they will pull out anything to deflect it, even if it's to fight dirty. Boundaries. My nephew said it's extremely important. So Parker, why do you think it's extremely important in your young life? What have you learned about boundaries? 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. If we can get this boundaries things together, because we all got an invisible line. We all have an invisible line around us that when someone starts to get too close, we have an automatic response. We say things like, may I help you? Hey, how are you doing? Is there any reason why you are so close into my space? Everybody has a boundary code, a boundary meter. Every last one of us. 717-889-7181. So my question is, what do you do? How do you deflect when someone's getting too close to your boundaries? Not just your personal space, but your mental space. How do we deflect that? How do we make sure we keep ourselves safe? Hey, Mama Rose, I hope you're feeling better. 717-889-7181. What can we do to keep ourselves safe? Mentally, physically, spiritually, because people can get into our spiritual boundaries and break those spiritual boundary lines, and we have to really be mindful of it if we want healthy relationships. We've talked about some relationships in the past, but how do we stand on the boundaries that we set? And the reason why we don't stand on them is because we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. We don't want to offend anybody, even though you already told them the rules, even though you have set it, the limits with your mouth, and at times with your actions. When you do check them, they don't like it. They are offended. Some people think they can just walk in your house Even though you said the rules of this house is take off your shoes before you walk on my carpet. You're going to have somebody that say, I don't take my shoes off for nobody. You're going to have somebody tell you that. Now, it's up to you at that moment to stand your ground, because that's my rules of my house, or let them walk all over your carpet with your shoes on. That's just, and the thing about it is, it's ugly because we let so many people slide. I see people get like that, people slide on my job. All the jobs I had, you let some people do something, but the other person can't do that. Boundaries, rules, they're there for a reason. 717-889-7181. They're there for a reason. Now, my nephew just got married. And one day they're going to have a house and he's going to say, hey, no one should walk on my carpet on my $5,000 Persian rug carpet with their shoes on, and that's going to be his prerogative. But me as the big uncle probably going to just walk on in. I'm probably just going to walk on in and say, hey, I got this foot problem, man. Leave me alone. Quit tripping. But he's the man of his house. And he has the right to say, Uncle Kenny, I respect you. But these are the rules. These are the rules. And so why is it so hard to keep your rules that we set for ourselves? Why is it so hard? I want to hear from you guys. Why is it so hard to accept people's boundaries? 717-889-7181. And why is it when people don't want to follow your rules or your boundaries, why is it so easy to fold? Why is it so easy to fold? I want to hear from you because I want to be honest. I'm honest today. I'm honest today in my living. I'm honest today in my walk. I'm honest today in my talk. The Bible says, let your yea be yea and your no be no. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. And that's where I'm living my life at in these days. Saying no or saying yes and meaning it. And so I think we as men tend to waffle on boundaries. I think we are the ones that, okay, babe. Even though we know what is right, even though we know how this rule is good for us, okay. If you want your third cousin on your daddy's side, come over and stay with us for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's never any good. It's never any good. 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. Hey, cuz, got my cousin Geraldine Short on the line. And down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Gerald going down there in Chester and represent our cousin. We're not going to be able to make it. But that cancer is taking us out of here. Every last one of us. So this is also Cancer Awareness Month. Again, before everybody was on, I'd like to shout out to the cancer survivors. Boundaries. Set boundaries for your own self. Some of us have addiction problems. You got to set some boundaries. You have to tell yourself, I cannot go over there. Because I know if I go over there, there's a good chance I won't come back over here. Boundaries. You have to tell yourself, I will not buy a bottle of wine if I don't want to drink in the middle of the night. You got to tell yourself that. You have to set your own boundaries for your life. this is how we become healthy. This is how we become healthy. 717-889-7181. And I know you're looking at me like, well, Joker, you ain't healthy. But actually, I am healthy. I am healthy. I am living better. I'm living better, living cleaner. And I am absolutely happy with how my life is turning out. Boundaries. Mental illness. You have to know that these are things I cannot be around. There are some triggers I can't be around. We have to start identifying. What is good for us. Hey, Joyce, we have to start identifying what's good for us, where we can and cannot go. We need to set our own boundaries in this city. And there used to be boundaries when I was growing up. You know, South Side, you could go uptown, but you knew there was going to be some trouble. And vice versa. You knew it was going to be some trouble. But we need to set boundaries. We need to set boundaries and like I said, what we eat, what we listen to, what we talk, how we talk, Are we cursing at the wrong time? Which I don't think there's no right time to curse. But me saying as a pot calling the kettle black in my day, what I'm living better now. Patricia Robinson said, know your limits, self-awareness and wellness. Know your limits, self-awareness and wellness. Patricia was my co-host on this show before. And Patricia, we have to have you back, Tricia, because you are doing so many wonderful things. We have to have you back on this show, on Kenny's Corner. But Patricia, if you would call into 717-889-7181, can you elaborate on your self-awareness and wellness? I think I don't think I can do that enough justice. Because now we're walking into your ballpark. 717-889-7181. Know your limits, self-awareness, and wellness. Yeah, that's right, 84. Call in, Patricia, if you can, because we need to hear what this means, this self-awareness and witness. Julian B. Adams has just joined the show. Julian, we're talking about boundaries and how important they are and why and what is the danger when we fail at setting boundaries. What do we allow in our spirit at times that shouldn't be there? I know for me, when I let too many things that ought not be come into my space and my spirit, I get to wavering sometimes. We have to guard ourselves. We have to guard our hearts. There's a lot of men and women out here that are hurt because of past relationships. And they can't drop the wall. They can't drop it at all because of what goes into their spirit. Some people have lost homes, jobs, careers. Oh, we got a call?
Good evening, caller. You're on Kenny's Corner. Go ahead with your comment and or question, please.
Hello. King Bob, this is Trish Robinson.
Hey, Trish, how you doing, honey?
Well, you put me on the spot, so I had to call in.
You know how to do it. You know how to do it. 84.
Well, your subject is boundaries, and just to elaborate a little bit on why I said you have to really look at self-awareness and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you look at, I think really ought to take a look at ourselves. I believe 98% of our illnesses are a reflection of someone else's issues.
Oh,
So we take on someone else's issues, and we the one that becomes sick. And that's 80, 95, 90% of the time.
come on.
So we really have to do a checkup. I always say from the neck up. If your mental state is not where you need it to be, then you have to reevaluate yourself and say, why am I allowing myself to take on someone else's mess or someone else be dumped on, or to be abused or misused, or whatever the case may be?
Right.
It is up to us to do a self-awareness, and then and figure out what we need to do on a daily basis. When I wake up in the morning, I will not allow anyone to disrespect me. I will not allow anyone to hurt me or to put me in a situation that I'm comfortable in. I will not. That's the conversation we have to have on a daily basis, because that will dictate our path. And that will dictate when we say no, and our no is our no, and mean our no, and be okay with that no. That's how we stay well. Because self-awareness is key, and we often throw that word around and think that we have to go on a vacation. That's not always the case. If you take time out for you and know your limits, you become full aware of what you can and what you cannot do, and what you will not allow.
So when you say take time out for you, what does that look like to our viewers? What does take time out for you look like? Is it a walk?
That means being present. That means being present with who you are. That means you really taking some time, whether it be a long walk, it could be a day at home without a cell phone, not answering cell phone,
Yeah.
turning it off.
Yeah.
That is a day of wellness. That means you're really taking time to get to know who you are and what your strengths, what your weaknesses are, what you like and what you do not like, what's going on in your present life
Mhm.
that you can change. The problem is we have so much noise and so many distractions that we don't take time, really take time with ourselves, because people don't like to be by themselves often. But we really have to love ourselves enough to say, you know what, I love me enough to take time for me, by myself, to get to know who I am and where I'm going, where I would like to be in the next 2, 5, 10 years.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I love you. Patricia Robinson, no relation. Class of 1984. Best class ever came out of Harrisburg High. I said it and I said it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. All right. Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
All right. So
Bye.
bye-bye. So one of the things she said was very important is that we take on so many other people's issues, and we need to get that off of us. That's your issue. I'm going to put this down. I when I went to I was in a therapy session, and one of the ladies, she was explaining to me that growing up, things were put in my lap, and then I would carry it, and then as I got older, more responsibility was put in my lap as a kid, and I would have to carry it. And then as I got older, I started being used to carrying other people's loads. So now, as an adult, when somebody has an issue, I carry it. It's time to start putting it down. It's time to start putting it down. Put other people's stuff down. They don't belong to you. Man, once you realize they don't belong to you, the healing begins. The healing really begins. We got Mary Sue Richardson on the line. On the live. She's watching. How you doing, Sue? God bless you. We're talking about boundaries, and how to set boundaries and what should we do. Like September 21st was my birthday, and I never heard from you. And so I'm going to set a boundary that shouldn't happen again. And I know you forgot, Sue, but that's okay. I love you. You're getting old. That's all that is. God bless you. Shout out. But wait, there's more. So lay that stuff down. Get that stuff off of you. And after you get it off of you, don't let them put it back on you. This is what boundaries are. Hey, I need this because but that's not mine. This is not mine. That's yours. I'm not saying don't help your kids, don't help your wife. That's not what I'm saying. But everything ain't for you to carry. Because when you start carrying other people's load, when you start allowing people to dump into your emotional, into your spiritual realm, you know what happens when they dump? They feel good. They feel better. They feel lighter. And then what do you feel? Heavier. Carrying the load. And I'm not saying we shouldn't help people or talk to people. That's not what I'm saying. But we have to be mindful of who we allow to dump on us. Because there are some people that need to dump on us, and there are some people we need to take it from them. You're right. But some people dump on us because we're just a dumping spot. And if we don't take it, somebody else is going to take it. But they're going to dump it. Let's put it back in their lap. What's up, Kenny Ross? Oh, Gerald, happy belated birthday. I missed it too. Getting there now. Oh, that's okay, Sue. That's okay, Sue. I love you, baby. I know it was bound to happen eventually, honey. You know, we getting up there because I know you're, never mind. 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. Boundaries. What are the benefits and blessings? And what is the downfall of boundaries? Can you lose friends over setting boundaries? That is a question. Can you lose friends? Facebook, I'm talking to you. Can you lose friends over setting boundaries? Carla Brown, can you lose friends over setting boundaries? 717-889-7181. Can you lose friends over boundaries? And if you do lose a friend over a boundary, were they a friend in the first place? Were they a friend in the first place? Because we should be able to set our boundaries, and our friends should be able to accept it. Patricia says, yes, yes, we will lose friends. When we start believing in something, you will lose friends. Come on, Portia, not if they are really friends. That's right, Patricia. But that's right, Portia. But Portia, you know what? I don't know if you can say, I want to say they're not really friends, but sometimes they're not friends. When we change, when we elevate, so they can be our friends, but they can't come where we're going. You know, there was a song by John P. Key, and he said, I've decided to take a stand. That's a boundary. Not believing I will lose some of my friends. But I'd rather live right than to be in hell and have to lift up mine eyes. So we got to stand. And sometimes making a stand, not saying they're not our friends anymore, but they're not assigned to go where we're going. Should our friendship be determined by boundaries? Wow, Patricia, that's a good question. It all depends on what your boundary is. If you're trying to live a different life and they're constantly trying to get you to live the life you used to live, that would be a problem for me. That would be a problem for me. Lee Hodge, we're talking about boundaries, buddy. I know you know about boundaries, brother. PPI for life, baby. Oh, not for life, but maybe a couple more years. But Lee Hodge, a man of awareness, a man of consciousness. Love my friend. This boundaries thing, Lee. We know it's important, but how do we get balance and boundaries in our own life? Hey, Kel, miss you, girl. Miss you, love you, miss you. How do we get that? I know you meditate, Lee, and I know you go through different steps to get to some type of peace. Once you attain that peace, do you set boundaries not to let that peace be interrupted or disturbed? Some boundaries get crossed with family members. Don't get it twisted now. Family will push you to the limit. 717-889-7181. Portia, I would love to hear from you, Portia. You are my girl. Portia, I gotta have Portia on here because she does some poetry. And she rattles that poetry off like it ain't nobody's business. If my piece is interrupted by a friend, I will bow out. I know that, Patricia. I will bow out. And Kim said, I sure do love my piece. That's right. Oh, she said, I will bow out. But Portia, I gotta have you on the show, Portia. I gotta have you on the show doing some poetry. Portia can make anything poetry. She can make anything poetry. I love it. I just absolutely love it. And she'd walk up to the microphone doing about, this is so funny. She would walk up at a normal pace. She would say the poetry so elegant and then fly off the stage. Well, she said, let's talk. We will. Lee Hodge, you have to, bro. But after a while, you get to such a peaceful place, even in the midst of chaos, you aren't moved. I love that. I love that. I love that, Lee. I love that, man. Teresa has a question hand up, an emoji like, what are we saying here? What are we saying here? Well, come on, Teresa, what are you saying? Oh, so true. Oh, so true. All right, Teresa. 717-889-7181. I would like to hear, well, Lee might be at work, so. Andre Adams, one of the best DJs in Washington, D.C. We got D.C. out here. Tressa said, fire is burning, but I'm not getting burnt. Woo! I know that's right. Better boundaries. Better boundaries. Is this a poem or something? Better boundary. Okay, it was a book or something. Hey, brother. Hey, Andre, brother. Hey, Andre. Parker got married, man. You just did his graduation thing, and now he got married. Joshua said, isn't there something in the Bible about being in the midst, but being unbothered? Well, Tressa, you're absolutely right. Because when they were on the boat and the ship was tossed and turned every which a while, Jesus was in the boat asleep. and they came to him and say, don't you care if we perish? And Jesus had to come out there and say, what are y'all talking about? Don't you know you are on the boat with the wind maker? Relax yourself. Relax yourself. Sometimes when you're going through a storm, you have to know who you are. And you can't get rattled. You have to know that, hey, whatever is thrown at me, I can handle this. I will tell him, Andre, you can handle this. We got this, y'all. We got this. Lee says, I love my old friends from a distance. That's right. And we got some, hey, Nook, what's going on, man? How you doing, Nook? What you say, Nook? When I'm coming over, I'll talk to you later, Nook. Tressa said, we always find out who we are in the storm. Now, that's the truth. Now she just said a word. Be a raincoat in a world. Be a raincoat in a world full of rain. I know that's right. I know that's right. But Tressa, I like what you said. I like what you said. We always find out who we are in the midst of a storm. That's right. Portia said you have to be bold enough in your faith to tell the storm, I am the storm. Come on now. I am the storm. Oh man. Trey, short topic. Short, we're talking about boundaries. We're talking about boundaries in life. We're talking about boundaries in friendship, boundaries in relationship, boundaries at church. Yep, church. Boundaries, period. That's the topic. That is the topic. And how important is boundaries, Darius? And how can we set them and keep them? Woo! Hey, Kenny Rob. Hey, Elder Linda Green. How you doing, honey? God bless you. Move you away from Harrisburg, but that's okay. We still love you. We still love you. We still love you. But I want to get back to Tressa's point. She says we always find out who we are in the storm. In the storm. We all have been through some storms. And some have rocked us to the core. Some has almost taken us out. Some people have talked about even taking themselves out of here. Because it gets that rough. But when you go through it and come out of it, you come out of it different. You come out of it stronger, more confident. Pamela said in chapter 2 of the book, Become Your Best Friend, know you understand the source and strength of your belief. Okay. What else she said? Embrace your purpose. Yeah. What are good friendship boundaries? Who said this? Eben's friend, Renard. Yes, Lee, you were rocked when you lost your baby girl. Absolutely rocked. And Lee, I saw a void in your life. And you came through that, brother. And now I see a wholeness in you and a peace. I see that peace that surpasses all understanding, Lee. I praise God for you, man. And you are so right, because you were rocked. Lee, I was rocked when I had to leave my job. Disability, I was rocked. Oh, amen. Teresa and Joe, this is not the time for you all to speak and reconvene, and you don't even know each other for real. Pamela, limit your set between yourselves and people due to this. Yeah. Yeah, we can't have an overload of the people that does not run in the same pack we run in. I'm not saying we can't be friends with them, but we can't have the overload. We can't even have the overload. My brother was a great inspiration in my life. And as far as boundaries, he set boundaries for me at a young age. Let me tell you about this joker. This joker told me, I'm gonna talk about him now because he ain't here to defend himself. 717-889-7181. I'll give the number just in case he wanted to. But this joker told me, and I thank him for this. Kenny, when you talk to me, I don't want you to talk to me with slang. And I said, huh? I said, nah, I mean, what you saying, bro? I'm just chilling. That's how I talk. He was like, nah, that ain't how you talk. And so he got me to change. He got me to code switch. That's the first time I heard that word, code switch. And I thank you for that, big brother. It has served me well. Yeah, Tressa said, yes, he was and is. He's still a wonder in my life. Amen. Amen. Everybody needs somebody they can call on, that someone can pray for them, talk to them, mentor them. You know, when I used to work at, the hospital at the Pennsylvania Psychiatric Institute, there were so many people that were in there for depression and anxiety, and all they really needed was somebody to hear them, hear the voice. What's up, Cornell? We're talking about these boundaries, man. This thing is rough, man. We got my cousin Deb on the line. Boy, I got my family coming in. Deborah Johnson is my cousin. My. And she is on point. God bless her. Deborah, I'm telling you, I got to get you on this show, Deborah. I got to get you on this show, Deb. We got to get here. Because right now, when you talk about boundaries, now we know friends' boundaries, but when it comes to relationship, I think there needs to be some boundaries in relationships. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wives. Why not? You can be your individual and still be together. I'm just sorry. If my out is golf, why do I want to go with you now? We married now. I want to go with you and your friends. Not your place. It's not your place. We need our space. But we also need to come together immediately after golf. We need to come together immediately after bowling. But we all need our space and our boundaries. And we would be better if we couldn't cross. It would serve us well. Boundaries defined as a limit you set between yourself and people due to thoughts, activities, and things that are in your. I can't get this. That are in your best interest. The Bible is full of information that helps us establish boundaries. Yes, it is. Tressa said, call on him in the midnight hour. All right, now she got the microphone and everything. I guess she wanted to sing that, but we ain't got time for nobody to sing. If we had more time, we would let Tressa sing. Sometimes we self-impose boundaries in relationships that we may not want if we are honest, but they are needed. They are needed. Portia, they are needed. And people get into relationships, especially young people, they get into relationships and think it's everything and all things. And I can't do nothing separate without you. Trisha said jealousy is at an all-time high. Yes, yeah, I'm just going up the street. Give me a break. Boundaries. We talked about the sock drawer earlier. That's my sock drawer. Everything is in my sock drawer. You know, And he said, Mister, you are 100% right, brother. Without boundaries, friendships can become stressed, fractured, or even broken. That's right. That's right. Let me see here. That's right. What else? What else you say, brother? Health friendship boundary is very important for the endurance of any relationship. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, I'm talking about you not letting me sing on the show. He bends, my main man from the DC, from the Washington DC. This is the same Benz, right? Because if we do not have good boundaries, it will fracture our relationships. If we can't breathe, if we can't step out, it will ruin what the special thing we got. Hey, Robin, God bless you, Robin. I love you, honey. You my girl. We're talking about boundaries, Robin. Boundaries. Appropriate use of the words yes and no. Make more room for love. Yes, this is a quote by Sark. And yes, but you know what? Not only that, Pamela, we had said earlier that let your yes be a yes and your no be a no. Like we have to stand on that as men and women. Like we have to say what we mean and mean what we say. Yes, Reginald Bernard's cousin, brother. That's right, man. Hey, sure. Hey, you ain't just Reggie's cousin. You my cousin too, brother. Yo, that's how we do it around here, man. We family now. You know, and so in relationships, it is important to keep who you are. And then the special part of you, share it with your mate. And vice versa. But keep who you are. This is why they were attracted to you. They weren't attracted to you because you did everything they said. They were attracted to you because you were your independent person. And they liked something about you. So be that. Be the man. Be the woman. We always talk about men and women have their places in relationships, and they do. And sometimes the lines get a little blurred. They get a little blurred, but if we can just have our yes be our yes and our no be our no. People respect when you stand on your principles. They respect it. They may not always like your answer, but they respect that you don't waver. They respect that. They respect that. And if you do have to waver, they respect that you are mature enough to take a look at what the other person said, seeing the benefit, and then make the change. I'm trying to help somebody out here. I'm trying to help somebody get to the next level. Because we have a lot of selfish, egotistical, cheating people out here. And that is not going to work. That is not going to work in this world. It's not going to work. Come on, preach. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. We will put, like Patricia said, we carry things that people put on us. But sometimes we put things on people so we can do what we want to do. The number one trick of a man is to say, you know what, I think you're cheating. I think you're cheating and you're doing something. And the whole time we doing something. You know, all of a sudden, you know, when you start putting things on your mate, that's a red flag. That should be a red flag for somebody. Should be a red flag for somebody. But tell you, man, I don't care what we talk about. I don't care how we talk about it. This time flies. It shows from 9:10 to 10:10. Thank you. Next week we will be talking about domestic violence. We will have Dr. Sabrina Whitlock. He said all the time it's the other person, right, Andre? All the time it'll be the other person the whole time. We will have the incomparable Dr. Sabrina Whitlock. She's going to be on here next week on Zoom. And we're going to talk about domestic violence and what it does to the family and how can we heal from that. That's what we're going to talk about. But our time is up. Our time is all over. And you know what I say? We can't control what happens on the streets of New York, DC, or Chicago, but we can always control what happens right here at Kenny's Corner. Thank you.